Hey YouTube, how are you doing? It's been a little while. I'm back here again with some more pickups. What I've got over the last few weeks, I guess. You'll have to forgive my voice. Unfortunately, I've had a bit of flu the last few days and my voice is just coming back, but it's still a little bit croaky, so you'll just have to bear with me. And hopefully I can abate the coughing until I finish, because yesterday was unbelievable. It was almost like I had COVID again, the amount of coughing I was doing, but I haven't. It was just a bit of cold. Anyway, where do we start? I think I'll start with a couple of presents, a couple of gifts that was sent to me by my good friend Pete. At Christmas, if you saw that video, amongst the Christmas gifts and pickups, Pete sent me these two, amongst other things, and I think he was a bit shocked that they didn't come with slipcovers. I was quite disappointed actually that that this didn't have a slipcover reacher, because season 1 I've got with a slipcover. Equally as much, I guess. Thing is, I've learned that I can't rely on Amazon. He bought these off my Amazon wish list. I realised I can't rely on Amazon, even if something's brand new, newly released, that they'll send a slipcover. And more often than not, if it came with a slipcover and it's quite soon after release, you probably get one. But when they've been out for certainly as long as this one had, I'm not sure how long this one had been out at that point, maybe a while. Yeah, relying on Amazon for slipcovers is not always the best policy for me. But one good thing with Amazon, easy returns, if that's the case. I've done that in the past when something hasn't come with a slipcover. I've taken the risk and it hasn't worked out. But anyway, he managed to get hold of the slipcovers, nicely packaged inside empty cases. So I will, I've had all these back on the shelf for a while now. I thought I'd put them back the way they arrived, just to show. So yeah, I'm really pleased about that. So they can be reunited back together. So I'll put them back on the shelf as they were. So yeah, thank you so much, Pete. I really appreciate that. Very happy. Right, moving on to the pickups. Now, there's some stuff from charity shops here, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think I can remember which charity shops any of this came from. But I got a Super Jewel case copy of Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. This is the white cover edition, which is the theatrical version. There is also a yellow cover, which is the extended version. 50p. It's a, didn't realise that, double-sided disc. So it's got, I'm assuming, the widescreen on one side and the full screen on the other. Again, from another charity shop. It looks like, no, it doesn't. It didn't come from the same, well, it didn't come from the same shop, but I thought it might have been the same charity, but it wasn't. I got this in Billingham a couple of weeks ago for £1. The Fifth Commandment. This doesn't have, when I saw it, I had an inkling that there wasn't a Blu-ray, a UK Blu-ray. I don't know why, but when I checked on CEX, they didn't list one, so I figured it probably doesn't. And I looked on Amazon when I got home, and I'm fairly certain that there's no UK Blu-ray of this. So I paid £1 for that. The Fifth Commandment. It's a German release, but I did double check that it had English audio before I bought it. It's one of these places that put tape them shut so you can't open them. I guess it's to stop people from pinching the discs, but I mean, I always open them anyway, because I'm not going to buy anything from a charity shop without checking the disc. Usually Blu-rays are fine, but DVDs sometimes, the shocking condition you see them in. This also has the reversible artwork. I think it's exactly the same on the inside. It's just missing the German age rating. So I'll flip that over. What have we got next? This next lot all came from the same charity shop, although a couple of different visits. So there's a couple of 5 for £1 DVDs, I think 1 Blu-ray and a couple of box sets, which are £1 each. Now starting off with the DVDs, 5 for £1, 2 I've already sold. I put them on Vinted and yeah, they sold. So they were both Robbie Williams music DVDs. I think one was a live show and one was video singles. So I will put a picture up if I haven't already. So yeah, basically they were 20p each. I honestly can't remember what they sold for, but I think it might have been about £2.50, something like that. Apocalypse Now, the Redux, again, these are all 20p each. I've struggled to get that label off, so I might have to put something on there to persuade it to come off. I was quite surprised that this is only a single disc. I thought it would be a multi-disc release, but it's not. It's just the one disc, and then there's a book in there. But yeah, it's a nice release. Apart from that sticker. We've got Ace Ventura in a snapper case. This one I will sell on. I didn't get that to keep because I already own it. Now this is a 3-disc release of Memento. I still haven't watched this movie. I really need to. I think there was a Blu-ray came out last year, maybe the year before. From it's actually part of this collection, the 101 Films collection. But they released it in a steelbook in a box set, and it was quite expensive. So at the moment, I haven't bought that as yet. But yeah, I really need to get around to watching this. It's been out for such a long time, and I hear it's pretty good. And the Tony Farino Phenomenon, Steve Coogan sealed DVD. This was a character that I didn't really see that much of. I was always a big fan of Alan Partridge. I loved all the Alan Partridge stuff. I do remember briefly this guy, but nothing specific other than I think he was an Italian singer. But was he just the character? I mean, not Steve Coogan, but the character. Was he a charlatan? Was he really British, pretending to be Italian? I can't remember now. Well, yeah, I'm happy to have that. I've got quite a lot of the Alan Partridge stuff. I've got the Paul and Pauline Calf. I'm not sure if I've got that on DVD. I know I have that on VHS, and I don't know if that ever got a DVD. I'll have to look into that. Maybe I have got it. I just can't remember. Anyway, yeah, I was happy to find that. A movie I really love, and I'm going to have a look for this on Blu-ray at some point. From Hell with Johnny Depp and Heather Graham. About the Jack the Ripper, right? I'm sure it is. Yeah, it's a long time since I've seen this, but I do like it. Another snapper. I can't pass up a sealed snapper case. Don't come across them very often, so I grabbed this one. This is a movie, a snapper case movie that I already owned. You've Got Mail. So this will replace that one, and I'll put that one on up for sale. I can't remember liking this, but maybe I need to give it another chance. It was a very, very long time ago. It was when it first came out, so it's got to be over 20 years ago. It's All Gone Pete Tong with Paul Kaye, and usually he's pretty good. there was something I can't remember that I loved this or even liked it, to be honest. But yeah, for 20p, I thought I had to give it another go. Haven't watched it as yet. I've rewatched it, I should say. And then the last of the 5 for £1. By the way, I didn't get all these on the same day. I got 5 on one visit and another 5 on another visit. And from what order, I don't remember. Only Fools and Horses Series 2. This is something, as I'm saying again, I don't know if I have said this in the past, but certainly not in this video. But this is something I assumed I already owned. I could have sworn at some point years ago I bought a complete series, but not specials, box set of Only Fools and Horses. I think seven series in total. But it's not on my app in my collection, and it's certainly not upstairs amongst any of my my TV DVD sets. So maybe I just saw it and didn't pick it up, or misremembered buying it. I don't know, but yeah, for 20p, I got this. I think I've got all the specials, but individually none of the series until now, thinking that I had that box set. And then on the second visit, I also got a couple of extras as well as the 5 for £1. I got King Arthur, the director's cut on Blu-ray, a film that I had on DVD. I think I've got both versions actually on DVD, the director's cut and the standard cut. But this only has the director's cut on it. Man, so does the DVD. It's 2 separate DVDs for each cut of the movie. But yeah, happy to have upgraded this to a Blu-ray. It's not one I come across that often, to be fair. And then a couple more box sets. These are for reselling. For £1, I've got the 6-movie Stallone complete saga of Rocky, which was probably correct at the time that this was released, but maybe not so much now. I've never been into these movies, so I'm not totally up to date with how many that there are. But yeah, for £1, I thought that was worth getting to resell. All of this are very good, as is with all of these. I checked them all, I always do. They had, on the first time I was there, they had both Phoenix Nights and Max and Paddy DVDs, which are normally good for reselling, but all of them had horribly scratched discs, so I had to leave them. But at 20p each, they would have been a bargain. And this is a box set of classic war movies. Now, this outer case is really not in great condition at all, but all these slim cases and the discs are absolutely mint. And we've got a selection of films, all of which I've heard of. Some I have. The Sand Pebbles, The Young Lions, Von Ryan's Express, The Hunters, and The Desert Fox. And you've got quite a few big names in amongst all of these movies. I'm trying to remember now. I know John Wayne's in amongst them. So what have we got? Steve McQueen, Marlon Brando, Frank Sinatra, Robert Mitchum, Robert Wagner. No big names mentioned on that one. Oh, maybe I could have sworn there was one in here with John Wayne, but maybe I'm mistaken. But anyway, still some decent names. Again, these are ones that I might actually watch a couple of these, or maybe just put them up for sale and watch them until it sells. And then these last few came off Vinted. I believe I only paid £1 for this plus postage and fees, so just a little over £4 in total, which is a big jump up from £1, but it's worth it, I think. So this Metallica Through the Never in 3D, so another 3D movie to add to the collection. This was originally, well, it wasn't originally, but at some point it was in HMV for 2 for £25. At least it doesn't have that label on the back there. I haven't attempted to take that off as yet. I know how bad some HMV labels should be, and to be honest, I should have already had a go at that. I normally do, especially with CEX, the labels. When I buy, actually, I'm surprised there's nothing here from CEX. I know I haven't been in that often recently, but I'm shocked that I haven't bought anything there recently. But yeah, the labels on the front here with the price on, I normally keep them on until I've done a video just to show what the price is. But these round ones that they put on the front, I try and get them off immediately. And then finally, I've got a Doctor Who bundle. I paid £3.50 for these, one of which I already owned, and have subsequently just sold. The new copy, not my old copy. My old copy's here, and then the other two for my collection. So the one that I already had is the New Beginnings box set, which is the regeneration story from the 4th to the 5th Doctor, and then I should say the last two of Tom Baker's run and the first one of Peter Davison's run. And then we've got Dalek War. These look to be both John Pertwee releases, or stories I should say, Planet of the Daleks and Frontier in Space. I don't remember specifically anything from these. As a kid watching Doctor Who, I sort of got on board around Tom Baker's era. The earliest memory I have of Doctor Who was was it Planet of the Spiders, I think it was, which is, I'm certain, was John Pertwee's very last story. And I remember, I can't have been that old. And I remember having the bejesus scared out of me. But I think after that I was hooked on Doctor Who, even as 4 or 5 years old. And I think I watched probably religiously right through the rest of the 70s and into the 80s through Tom Baker's run and even into Peter Davison's run. I kind of fell off later in the 80s. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into those. And again, another Tom Baker set of stories that I'm familiar with, the E-Space trilogy just by name, but I can't really remember any specifics about any of these three stories. I'm assuming there must be consecutive chronologically as one right after the other when they were aired on TV, meaning that there aren't stories in between any of these, but that I will probably have to look up. But yeah, again, some more Doctor Who that I've seen probably as a kid and never seen since. That's it. That's everything for the last several weeks. I think. So something was just niggling me in the back of my brain there that I'd forgotten something from eBay. And I've just checked my recent eBay purchase history. And literally this last week, so recent, and I'd completely forgotten, I bought a couple of VHS tapes. So I've just been to retrieve them. So these are volumes 2, volume 3 of a set that I bought the first volume earlier this year. I want to say this year. And these were really, really cheap. So we've got Max Headroom, volume 2, VHS, Body Banks and Security Systems. Really, really pleased that I've put these back in my collection. I owned all three of these for many, many years. I bought them in the early 90s. These are rental. I don't know if these are specifically ex-rental, but they're in rental big box cases. Now, the ones I got originally were brand new, sealed, bought in a store. They weren't bought in a video store or a rental store or a HMV, anywhere like that. They were bought in a department store, and I want to say bins or British Home Stores. I can't remember, but they had a very small section, as I recall, of videotapes. This is the early 90s, videotapes and CDs, and they had all three of these volumes of this Max Headroom TV show, piles of them, all sealed. Usually in the UK, when you got a sealed video VHS tape, it was just the cassette inside that was sealed, so the box you could always still open. And I guess they did that so places like HMV could put the boxes out for sale on display and remove the cassette still sealed inside, rather than having to break the seal to put them on the shelf. And the other one, of course, volume 3. I'm not doing a very good job here. Yeah, so volume 3, War in the Blanks. Again, it's a very long time since I've watched any of these. I can't remember when I sold my originals, but I want to say it was probably in the early 2000s when I sold off the majority of my... I say that, but there was a few things that I kept, and I might have kept these and sold them later, but I did sell them at some point, and I've regretted it. And for a while, these were selling on eBay at dumb prices, and even now people put these on at £50 each, as much as. Some people put them on less. I think there's a couple on right now at about £25. These were on a 99 pence. Oh, excuse me. Oh, coughing started again. I knew talking for this long wouldn't abate it. So yeah, these were on for a 99 pence start, which worked out at £1.69 each, I think, once you add eBay's new fee system. But still, the guy who was selling them was asking £4 postage for each one, assuming that they're sold individually. And I texted him, or I rather sent him a message a few days before the auction ended, asking him, you know, does he combine the postage and what will it cost? And he said he would send them together for the same cost as one postage as one, so £4. So I bid on them. I was the only bidder. I got them for the £1.69 each. But he couldn't find a way to combine the postage. So he said, if you just pay for them, and then I'll refund you the postage for one back, which he did. So I sent him the payment, and he sent the postage back. But then eBay also refunded a portion of the fees back. So instead of getting £4, I got £4.60 back somehow. So in the end, these cost me £5, £4, £5, £6.60, thereabouts, I think. I've just done that quickly in my head, so I might be wrong. So yeah, just a little over £3 each. So I'm really chuffed with that. You send one of these via Royal Mail, and it'll cost you more than £3 just to send it. The guy sent them via Every, which, to be honest, I really don't like. But recently, you've been able to divert the parcel. So if it's coming to your home, you can divert it to a pickup location. The one thing I hate about Every, and even before they rebranded into Every, if you weren't home, they just left a card, and which they don't even do that these days. They don't even leave a card. There was no way of contacting them. There was no way of going to collect your parcel. And after 3 days, which usually came at the same time every day, so if you're working, you were knackered. And you lost out on your parcel. So wherever I can, I try and avoid using Every, unless the seller on eBay offers a click and collect, which what we ever did before that was a thing, I don't know. But yeah, having items that are too big to go through the letterbox just land at the local corner shop or petrol station. It's such a great thing. So yeah, I had to redirect these to the shop just around the corner, which was great. So yeah, I'm really chuffed that I've got these. I've got all 3 volumes now, which is the complete first series. Series 2, I'm fairly certain, never got any kind of release here in the UK, let alone VHS or DVD. There is a DVD box set in the States of the 2 series, but not the original, what people call the pilot, but it wasn't really a pilot. It was just a one-off drama, that a sci-fi drama that came out in, what, 86, I think, somewhere around there, which I own as well on VHS. The only DVD copy of that came out, or official DVD copy that came out in Japan, and I saw one of them on eBay probably 2 or 3 months ago for about $100, and shipped to the UK it was going to be about $120, which I think worked out at just less than 100 quid. And as much as I'd love that on DVD, I'm never going to pay that for it. There is also a Laserdisc, which I do have some Laserdiscs. The downside to that is I don't actually own a Laserdisc player, which is something I need to. I keep looking at them on eBay, and I keep thinking, humming and hawing, and think, do I really want to pay £200 or £300 for a player that I've only got not even half a dozen discs, and everything I have on Laserdisc I have on other formats? I don't know that there's that many, apart from music releases. But I don't think there's that many things on Laserdisc that I can't get on a newer format, such as DVD or Blu-ray. But I think there are a lot of music releases that maybe didn't make it past that format and come onto DVD. Some did, but not all. And a lot of those are also on VHS. But music Laserdiscs are hellishly expensive for the most part, which makes me not want to buy them. So yeah, I'm sort of in that quandary. Do I pay all that money for a Laserdisc player that will get such little use? I don't know. I would really love a Laserdisc player, but I don't want to become a Laserdisc collector because it's such an expensive hobby, I guess, is the best way to describe it. I mean, I watch a lot of Laserdisc. I say a lot. I watch a few Laserdisc collectors on YouTube, and the amount of money that they spend. Although, I guess in the States, it's a much bigger concern out there. I don't think Laserdisc was anywhere near as popular over here than it was in America, and they have all kinds of places that still sell Laserdiscs, and there's a massive community out there that swaps and trades, which maybe it's over here as well. It's not something I've ever come across. And I want to say in the last 20 years I've maybe seen Laserdiscs out in the wild twice, and once, one of those was last year in a cash converters. I think it was a cash converters. I don't think cash generators exist anymore, so it must have been a cash converters. And they were asking £5 a piece, which honestly, not bad at all. There wasn't a single one. I mean, I think there was only half a dozen, but there wasn't a single one that I looked at and thought, yeah, I really want that. They were all just generic movie titles which are, 50p or less on DVD, so I left them. Anyway, that's my that must be my second rant at least in this video. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there because when I finished, before I remembered about these, I've been recording now for another 11 minutes, which is way too long to spend on just 2 videotapes. But anyway, if you've managed to get all this way through the video, thank you very much. And if you did manage to get this far through, do us a favour, put a comment down below. What can we put? Laserdiscs are too expensive. How about that? Laserdiscs are too expensive. Thanks very much for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. Oh, one last thing about on the subject of Laserdiscs. I do believe that these, plus Volume 1, do have a Japanese Laserdisc release. That's something just occurred to me after I'd stopped recording. I'm fairly certain there are 3 Japanese Laserdiscs of Max Headroom. I'm fairly certain it's just these 3 VHS tapes, or these 2 and the Volume 1, which isn't here, that's upstairs, have a Japanese, or had a Japanese release on Laserdisc. Completely different artwork, as I recall. Yeah, just suddenly came to mind.